All right, we're going to start momentarily. Give me a pen, please. All right, good afternoon. Can everybody hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
All right, let's start with, well, court will begin with the September 10th, 2020 docket, the 2 o'clock docket. And we have next Jesse James Gonzalez. Jesse James Gonzalez.
He's coming, Judge.
All right, thank you. Either way, motion to revoke, and 2, please, and a motion to revoke. Ms. Heller.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I think there's 4 cases. It'll be two motions to revoke and 2 pleas.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, let me do the pleas. And I have number 6 and 7.
Yes, Your Honor. Number 6 and 7 on your docket.
All right, Mr. James, there's going to be two pleas and 2 motions to revoke. And let's start with the pleas first. The criminal mischief and the possession of marijuana. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. CR 20-059-95D, CR 20-059-96D, both of them state of Texas versus Jesse James Gonzalez. The first case, criminal mischief, class A misdemeanor, that carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. The second one, the POM, is the class B misdemeanor. That carries a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
You understand that for each case, you're entitled to a jury trial and you're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those 2 rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendations after you give your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily on both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
The state offers plea documents and offense report as State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14, disclosure as State Exhibit 3, and waiver risk needs assessment as State Exhibit 4. The state would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and that all documents and evidence that have been e-filed are sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objections, Your Honor, and so stipulated as to venue and jurisdiction of the court.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged on both cause numbers. And our recommendations, are they by any chance identical, state?
No, they're not, sir.
Okay, on CR 20-05-995D.
The state recommends a $500 fine, a court cost, 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 1 year, a drug patch, and mentally impaired caseload.
All right, he's been in jail 74 days?
I have 73 days.
Oh, okay. And so let me hear the other recommendation, and then we'll go from there. On CR 20-05-996D.
The state recommends a $100 fine, plus court costs, 73 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 73 days.
All right, on this one, waive the fine and court costs. That'll be a time served. All right, and on the first one, CR 20-05995D. On that one, we'll make it 0 fine plus court. I mean, and no court costs. He's got plenty of days in jail already, but that'll be the probation period, 1 year, with all those other elements that were read on the record. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Now let me go to the other two cases. I believe there's motion to revoke. And let me see here. CR 19-107-76D, CR 19-107-77D, both of them state of Texas versus Jesse James Gonzalez. This is a revocation proceeding. The adult probation office and DA's office are both alleging that you violated your probations. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that if the court does find that you did violate your probation, that the court may sentence you to the full amount of punishment that was probated back then when you pled guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Has your attorney explained to you what are the conditions of probation you allegedly violated for each case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand them all pretty well?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is your plea, sir? True or not true that you at least violated one condition for each of the cases?
True.
And are you pleading true freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State.
The state offers waiver of rights, consent to stipulation of evidence, and plea of true to state's motion to revoke community supervision as State Exhibit 1. State also requests defendant stipulate that he is the same defendant who was previously placed on probation, and that all docs and evidence that have been e-filed are sufficient and true.
Without objections, Your Honor, so stipulated.
All right. And without objection and stipulations, it'll be the finding of this court that Jesse James Gonzalez did violate probation as alleged by the state in both cases, CR 19-107, 76D, and 77D. Recommendations, state? Yes, state recommendations.
Yes, $100 plus court costs, 138 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 138 days, and it's the same for both.
All right, in each case is $100 plus court costs, and then 188 days in jail, credit for 188. Court will hereby waive the fine and court costs.
188 or 138?
Is it
I have
188 or
138.
oh, 138? Okay. It'll be 138 for 138. It'll be a time served for each case. No fine, no court costs. All right, that'll do it. Mr. James, you may be excused. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. On Edwin Reyes, are we going to hear testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
And by who? By Maria Infante?
Yes, Your Honor.
All
Is
right.
she gonna log on?
Is she going to log on?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. The defense attorney had knowledge about it.
Yes, she should be on.
Okay. There's a Moto 4 Plus. That could be her, I guess. Let me see. No, that's not. Is that Miss Im-
That's
Yeah. Is that Miss Infante?
disconnecting.
No, she's connecting audio.
Sí.
All right. Do you all see her on the screen? That's her?
Sí.
All right.
¿Es ella la víctima?
The defendant will require
Sí.
the use of an interpreter.
Okay.
That's her? Okay.
¿Habla inglés ella o no?
Sí, ella sí. Yo no.
Okay.
All right, Miss Infante, you need to unmute.
There.
All right. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good to hear. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
And I understand we're going to hear some testimony, right? State.
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me?
Yeah. We're gonna put on some testimony. So just listen carefully to the questions that are being asked by the state. Okay, ma'am?
Okay, sir.
For right now, please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. You may put your hand down and you may listen to the questions, please. State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your full name for the record.
María Griselda Infante.
And what is your relationship with the defendant?
Well, we were together for a year and 6 months, so we were living together.
Is he your boyfriend, husband?
Like my husband, we were together, living together.
Okay. And how long were you together?
A year and 7 months.
Okay. And can you tell me what happened on August 23rd, 2020?
Yeah, we started arguing on the expressway and we got into it, both of us. He started yelling me things that he had slept with somebody else in my bed in my trailer. So I got really mad and I pressed charges on him. But we started struggling each other. So he made some bruises, pero nomás nos discutimos. We started fighting each
In
other.
English. Make sure
We started
you're-
fighting each other.
Okay. Is there a history of violence in your relationship?
None. This is the first time that happened.
Okay. And are you concerned that it might happen again, any violent acts?
I don't think it will happen again. This is an experience already.
Okay. And just to be sure, nobody promised you anything or threatened you in any way to get you to testify today?
Okay.
Do you wish to drop the charges against the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
You do understand that by dropping the charges, this case cannot be reopened in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you do understand that if another incident was to occur, you can open up a new case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all we will do at this time, Your Honor. The state will work out the case with the defense attorney.
All right, thank you for your testimony, ma'am. You may be excused. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And what are we gonna do in this case?
I
Well,
leave?
Your Honor, for now, I guess if you want to arraign him, we can.
I'm sorry, right here.
Arraign him.
Oh, doing arraignment right now?
If you would like.
Okay, he understands English?
No, he does not, Your Honor.
All right, then let me do an arraignment here. Yeah, Miss Infante, you may leave already, ma'am. You may be, you're
Okay, I'm
excused.
sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Edwin Hernandez Reyes. Can you hear me, sir?
Jailer, can you unmute?
All right, can you hear me, Mr. Reyes?
Levanta tu mano derecha. Reyes.
You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juras que el testimonio que vas a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí, sir.
Yes, sir.
And you can put your hand down.
Puedes bajar tu mano.
CR 20-07-536D, Edwin Reyes, your charge here is a Class A misdemeanor assault, which carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
En el caso tuyo, Mr. Reyes, en el CR 20-07-536D, el estado de Texas contra Edwin Reyes, te acusan de una clase A, que es asalto. Bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $4,000 y no más de un año en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí.
Yes.
And how do you plead today, sir? Guilty or not
¿Y
guilty?
cómo te declaras hoy? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Inocente.
Innocent.
All right. Court will enter a not guilty plea and will set it for pretrial. PT.
Are they going to be asking for a bond?
Are you asking for a bond state? I'm sorry, Ms. Keller?
Yes, Your Honor, right now he's at $10,000 bond and he can't afford to get out. And since he was the sole provider for the family, they're very limited in funds.
Okay. And he's been in jail like 17 days?
I believe so, Your Honor. Let me see.
All right. He's on a 10,000 cash surety?
Right now, he's at 10,000, correct?
All right. So then after considering the testimony we heard from the alleged victim, and she also filed an affidavit of non-prosecution, right?
Well, that's why we
No.
were having the hearing.
That's what she testified.
That's why she testified. All right. You seeking a what, a PR bond, man?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything to say, state?
Yes, if the state requests that the defendant have no harmful contact with the alleged victim, Maria Griselda Infante.
Okay. All right, we'll do a 1,000 PR bond. PR and no harmful contact with the victim here. I think it was Maria.
Mr. Reyes, el juez
Infante.
le bajó a la fianza, te va a dar una fianza donde vas a salir con tu firma. Tienes que regresar el día 3 de marzo del año próximo a las 9 de la mañana, pero durante este tiempo tienes que estar en contacto con tu abogada porque tal vez hay unas cosas que tienes que hacer y es importante de que no lastimes a María Infante. ¿Comprendes eso?
Sí, sir.
All right. And the reset date once again is what, February?
March 3rd.
I'm sorry, March 3rd, 2021 at 9 o'clock, March 3rd. Okay, Mr. Reyes, you may be excused. Thank you,
Se
sir.
puede retirar.
Thank you, sir. Gracias.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. That is all I have for today, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Let me go to number one. Ricardo Gomez. Ricardo Gomez. All right. And let's see if Mr. Ortegon is. Can you hear me, Mr. Ortegon?
Judge, yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right. Good to hear from you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Let me see here. Are we set for a plea, sir?
Yes, sir. It's a plea to time served, Judge, on the Class A assault.
Oh, okay. CR 19-05086D, State versus Ricardo Eduardo Gomez. Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. Your charge here is a Class A misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And you understand that you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and that you waive those two rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
Yes, sir.
And right now, do you understand what you're being charged with?
Assault public servant.
There you go. And so, and you know who your attorney is?
Ortegon.
All right. Court finds you competent to stand trial. You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. State's evidence.
The state offers plea documents and offense report as State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as State Exhibit 3. State would also request that defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court and that all documents and evidence that have been e-filed are sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Gomez, no objection. We so agree to stipulate to venue jurisdiction and we further stipulate to the evidence.
And without objection, so admitted. It will be the judgment of the court that Ricardo Gomez is guilty as charged in CR 19-05086D. And recommendation, state?
The state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost plus 365 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 365 days.
All right, court will hear.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. And so it'll be a time served, 365 for 365. Time served. That'll do it, Mr. Gomez. You may be excused. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir, Mr. Ortegon. My condolences on behalf of the family and the court. Okay, sir.
Thank you, Judge. And
Yeah.
we're going to have a public viewing at the Mission Event Center on Monday from 6 to 8.
Oh,
drive-by.
okay. Thank
It's a
you very
drive-by.
much. Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Thank
I'm sorry, who's next up over here? Ed Lopez? Yes. Mr. Lopez, can you hear me?
Good afternoon, Judge.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Lopez. We have Jesus Chavez?
Yes, Judge.
Jesus Chavez.
He is signed for a plea, Your Honor, subject to the court's approval.
It'll be a plea, all right.
He is
All
a Spanish
right.
speaker, Judge.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Chavez.
Buenas tardes, señor Chávez. Levante su mano derecha.
Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Jura que el testimonio que va a dar es la verdad, solamente la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right, you can put your hand down. CR 20-04-332D. Jesus Chavez. Your charge here is a Class B misdemeanor of duty on striking a fixture on the highway. It carries a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that,
En
sir?
el caso tuyo es CR 20-04332D, el estado de Texas contra Jesús Elizararás Chávez, te acusan de una clase B, bajo la ley es no más de una multa de $2,000 y no más de 6 meses en la cárcel. La pregunta del juez es, ¿comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial, you're entitled to an appeal, and did you waive those two rights?
Y comprendes que tú tienes el derecho de que un jurado oiga tu caso y también de apelar el caso, pero es correcto que tú has rechazado esos dos derechos, esos son los documentos que tú le firmaste al abogado, ¿es correcto eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
¿Alguna vez te han declarado que estés mentalmente incompetente?
Señor.
All right. You understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that you plead guilty in your case may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization of federal law?
Y comprendes que si tú no eres ciudadano de este país y te declaras culpable, eso puede resultar en deportación, exclusión o que te nieguen la entrada a este país bajo leyes federales. ¿Comprendes eso, sí o no?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
And was that explained to you by your attorney?
¿Y eso se te explicó a ti por tu abogado?
Sí, señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. And how do you plead, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
¿Y cómo te declaras? ¿Culpable o no culpable?
Culpable.
Sí.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
¿Y te estás declarando culpable libre y voluntariamente?
Señor.
Yes, sir.
All right. State's evidence.
The state offers plea documents and offense report as State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as State Exhibit 3. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and that all documents and evidence that have been e-filed are sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
Your Honor, no objection to the exhibits offered. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. We also stipulate that the documents are sufficient, Judge.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And recommendation state.
The state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost plus 128 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 128 days.
All right, waive the fine and court costs. It'll be a time served.
Te va a dar tiempo servido, te va a quitar la multa y los costos de corte. Tiempo servido.
All right, you may be excused. Thank you,
Se
sir.
puede retirar. Gracias.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, if I may, I'm studying it for Alex Munoz, Judge. He has number 5, Your Honor.
All right, number 5 is Jonathan Herrera.
That's correct, Judge.
And it'll be a plea, Mr.
Yes, it's a
Lopez?
plea, and I believe it's for time served as well, Judge.
Oh, okay. Jonathan J. Herrera. All right, good afternoon, sir. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. CR 20-05-987D. Jonathan J. Herrera. Your charge here is a Class A misdemeanor, criminal mischief, which carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've been declared mentally incompetent before?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. But today you understand what you're doing? You know what a plea is?
Yes, sir.
All right, you know you're being charged with criminal mischief. You understand what that is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, court finds you competent to stand trial. You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give a plea. You understand that?
Your Honor, yes, sir.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
The state offers plea documents and offense report as State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosure as State Exhibit 3. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and that all documents and evidence that have been e-filed are sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
No objection to the exhibits offered, Your Honor. We stipulate to venue jurisdiction. And that the documents are sufficient, Your Honor, under this hearing.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And our recommendation state.
The state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost plus 73 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 73 days, and $800 due and owing to Jesus Valdez.
It'll be due and owing. Is it
Yes, sir.
Jesus Valderas?
Valdez?
Oh, Valdez. I'm sorry. Valdez. All right, then court, he's got 73 days in jail, credit for 73. The court will hereby waive the fine in court because it'll be a time served, but there'll be a due and owing of $800. Did you understand that, sir?
Your Honor, yes, sir.
All right, time served. You may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Judge.
Mr. Lopez. Thank you, sir. You may be excused.
It's good seeing you all.
Yes, sir.
Stay
Good
safe.
seeing you. You too, huh?
Thank you.
Miss Coronado, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, Judge, I can.
All right, good afternoon. I think you're here
Good
on
afternoon.
Adan Reese, right? Adan
Correct,
Reese.
Judge. Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Reese. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. CR 20-07507D. Adan Roberto Reese Jr. Your charge here is a Class A misdemeanor. It carries a potential penalty of up to a year in jail and not more than a $4,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation when you give your plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right, state's evidence.
The state offers plea documents and offense report as State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14, disclosure as State Exhibit 3. State would also request defense counsel stipulate.
She's on mute, Judge.
No objection, ma'am?
Yes, Judge, but she was on mute the last part of it.
Okay, what was the last part, state?
Yes,
That you stipulate, right?
I stipulate, I have no objection, Judge. I stipulate to venue and jurisdiction, and I further stipulate that the evidence is sufficient.
All right, thank you very much, man, without objection. So at minute, it'll be the judgment of the court that Adan Reese is guilty as charged. Recommendation, state?
The state recommends a $100 fine plus court cost, 16 days in Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 16 days.
All right, court will hereby waive the fine and court costs. It'll be a time served. That'll do it, sir. Time served. You may be excused. Thank you.
May I be excused?
You may be excused. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You waive the court cost?
Yes.
You waive the fine and court cost?
Yeah. We need Mr. Mora, right?
Right there.
Mr. Mora, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
I believe you're here on Jose Luis Villarreal.
Yes, sir. Obviously.
All right, it'll be a plea, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, it'll be a plea here. All right, good afternoon, sir. Please raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. CR 20-07-865D, Jose Luis Villarreal. Your charge here is a Class B misdemeanor, criminal trespass, which carries a potential penalty of up to 180 days in jail and not more than a $2,000 fine upon conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you're entitled to a jury trial. You're entitled to an appeal. Did you waive those two rights?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
No, sir.
You understand that the court does not have to follow the recommendation after you give your plea?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what is your plea, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
All right. State.
The state offers plea documents and offense report as State Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14, disclosure as State Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk to needs assessment as State Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court, and that all documents and evidence that have been e-filed are sufficient to corroborate a plea of guilty.
Judge, there be no objection. We still make that stipulation and finding for the evidence submitted.
And without objection, so admitted. It'll be the judgment of the court. The defendant is guilty as charged. And our recommendation, state?
The state recommends a $500 fine plus court cost, 180 days in Hidalgo County Jail, probated for 6 months, and life skill classes.
The life skill classes, okay. He's done some time in jail, like 10 or 11 days, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, because of that, it'll be no fine, no court costs. And it'll be 180 days in jail, suspended in place on 6 months probation, and of course the life skill classes. That you understand, Mr. Mora?
Yes, sir.
That'll do it. That'll be the judgment. He may be excused. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you may be excused. Thank you. All right, that'll do it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge,
Thank
have
you.
a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.